Welcome to another episode of Stuck in My Mind podcast. I am your host, WIZE, and my next guest, she's a transformational coach, author, and a motivational speaker. Her autobiography, Hit Me With Your Best Shot, shares her raw and inspiring details of her life. I'm so excited to have her on the show because over the past 2 months or so, we've actually become friends, and I'm so excited to have her on the show. Welcome to the show, Neena Perez.
What's up?
What's
Thank you for
up?
having me. I'm really glad to be here. Thank you.
Oh, the pleasure's all mine. I've been a guest on your show technically twice. Technically, one was for Rise and Outshine, and then recently we recorded my episode for me being a guest on your show. So now
Yeah, so good.
just flip the tables down. Now you here on Stuck in My Mind, and I'm so excited. I'm excited to have you, and I'm excited to see what conversation we have because we tend to talk when we talk.
Yeah.
We get to talk.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. I'm like, I don't know where we're gonna take this, Will, but all right, let's do it, Wise. We got this.
Let's do this. Let's do this. So, as I mentioned in the beginning, you've written your autobiography, Hit Me With Your Best Shot.
Yeah.
What was the most challenging part of sharing your story?
Oh, there was a couple, right? So I've had a lot of trauma. So I think one of the most challenging parts was reliving a lot of the stuff that happened to me. And then the second most impactful thing I had to do was actually press publish because I knew my family would probably disown me or not speak to me. So, because I went through, all the stuff, I don't know how much I could share on your show, but because I went through so much stuff, I just knew that they were going to be mad that I told the secrets, right? Because I'm Latina, right? I'm Puerto Rican, and in our home, we grew up with what's done in the house stays in the house, even the bad stuff.
Yeah.
You just don't talk about it. You don't, you act like it never happened, like all that kind of stuff. So yeah, that was the toughest part.
Yeah, no, I know. Being Puerto Rican myself, I know the stories and the histories, and sometimes, yeah, some of it is it's very troubling and traumatizing at times. So yeah, I can imagine. So can you take us back to a pivotal moment in life when you decided to transform your struggles into your purpose?
Yeah, there's a few of them, but I think the book is actually a big catalyst for that because that was a very cathartic experience for me. I was able to write the book, cry through the book, cry a lot and write and then cry and then write and cry. And that really helped me heal in a lot of ways. And I was always like, I think I started in like 2002. I became a Christian spiritual leader for women. And so I've been doing this quite some time, and I was helping them through, their troubles and trials and tribulations by using faith as the background of that. And then when 2018 came is when I wrote the book. And I realized when I published it, how many people men and women were just coming to me to tell me all the traumas and stuff that they had in their life. And that's when I realized, okay, this is a great platform and format to start really catapulting what I do forward. And so I went back to school and got my master's certification in neurolinguistic programming and in positive intelligence and life coaching and like all of this stuff. I just had a lot of stuff. And that was, I think, the catalyst. So the piece that started to transform me. What started the transformation is me recognizing my own flaws and the things that I had in myself and the things that were holding me back. And I had to fix those things first before you can fix someone else. And so I got into fixing me and changing my mindset and learning who I was and what I really want to bring in the world and all of the stuff that comes with that, because everybody was telling me before that who I was and what I can and cannot do. And now I was defining that for myself. Who am I? Right. And having a kid at 15, I was nearly murdered by my son's father at 18. I've lived in shelters. I've been molested, beaten, raped. I mean, I've gone through all of these things in my life, poverty, all of that. right? And so now I'm grateful to God for those experiences. I wasn't then, but I am now, because I realize that that is actually what's helped me catapult and impact people's lives today. So transformation, for me, starts with every moment of your life when you could take something that's happened to you and use that as an experience to help another person.
And you could easily, because a lot of people do, you could easily use it as a crutch and as an excuse to continue to stay in that mindset. But
Mhm.
you, on the other hand, just like, you know what? No, these experiences made me who I am.
Mhm.
So instead
Mhm.
of you using it as a crutch and playing the victim, you came out stronger and more powerful than before, because you faced your trauma. You dealt
Yeah.
with it. You was there. You put it out there for the world to see. You let people into your world, and so by you sharing your story, someone who might have gone through a similar experience is like, oh man, Neena made this. Neena did this. I needed
Mhm.
to hear her story, and you inspire someone else to do great things, like get out of abusive relationships or whatever it is that
Yeah.
they're struggling. And so I commend you for sharing your story.
No, thank you. I was a victim though for a long time. I lived my life like woe is me, you know. I just always had something in me. Well, I don't know. I attribute that to God because I grew up in the projects, around crack vials and needles and crackheads and all that kind of stuff when we grew up, and that's
Yeah.
that's really what I grew up around. But I always had something in me that knew that there has to be more, and I'm better than this. And like I didn't let the environment really become me or me become the environment. I leveled myself up slowly throughout my life, but I did have victim moments where I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, I can't make it. I'm not good enough. I can't do it." That kind of stuff for sure, for sure.
Yeah, no, that's us. That's all of us. Because even
Mhm.
me, like I'm from East New York, Brooklyn, one of the worstest parts of Brooklyn in the
Mhm.
'80s and '90s. Same thing. Grew up in in the crack epidemic era, and it, for me to be here now, it's like, okay, and we weren't supposed to make it from where we're from.
Right.
We were supposed to be in the hoods, not succeeding, just and for us to do what we're doing now, you with all the amazing stuff you're doing and me building what I'm building here,
Yeah.
it's a testament of who we are, and what what strength we have to share with everyone and show them, like, yes, because am I am I proud of some things that I've done in my past? No,
No, me neither. Mhm.
but it's part of who I am.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
and when people ask me, even with all the traumas that I've dealt with losing my wife and my dad and everyone, and people be like, "Do you regret anything in your life?" I'm like, "No,
Mhm.
because
Mhm.
it's
I don't
made me
either.
it's made
Mhm.
me who I am. These experiences have molded me into the man that I'm becoming, because I'm still growing and I'm still learning. I'm still lifing. Life is still happening.
Yep.
So to for us to continue to go on and do what we're doing, and just the impact that we're having, because you have an impact. You've impacted me in the past couple of weeks with the course that I signed up for, which was I signed up with, I was just, let me just sign up, and the impact you've had on me in these last couple of weeks has been astounding.
Oh, wow.
Has been something that I am so grateful to have met you, and now that you're in my life, and it's just, so for what people don't know, Nina had a 5-day course on faith and incorporating it into your business, and I signed up. I attended the first day, and I attended all 5 days actually,
Yes, you did. I
and
know. I'm so proud of you.
and and we worked on some stuff. I wrote a letter to the universe that was impactful to me. I've written a prayer that I used to say every morning now,
I
and
love that.
it's really, things are just happening now.
It's
Things
so
that I
good.
can't explain, but me putting out these intentions and everything that I want and everything I want, that it's just amazing, the results in just a couple of days after I
Mhm.
wrote these letters.
I
And,
know.
and
You were
and
like the best story I wanted to hear every day. I'm like, okay, well, what happened? What happened today, Will? Because it's been
but
amazing.
it's been crazy, and I'm amazed by it. I'm amazed by it
So
because
good.
I'm like, okay, like I just thought, like, I just put this letter out there, and then like a day or two, like what? Wow,
So
it
good.
just blew my mind. So yeah, it's just I love the fact that I've been able to connect with you and
Me too. Me
just
too. Yeah.
and learn from you, and it's just I'm thankful. I'm appreciative of God bringing you into my life. Things
I
happen
feel the
for a
same.
reason, and so yeah,
It's kind of interesting the way he does it too, right? Because,
yeah,
it was in a whole different podcast doing a
yes,
whole
it was.
different thing.
It
You know
was.
what I mean? It's so interesting. And I feel the same way about you. I really feel the same way about you. I'm glad that we met. I'm glad that we have poured into each other's communities. That's what this is about, though, right? Well, I mean, this is
Of
what this is
course.
about, like connecting. You're Puerto Rican, I'm Puerto Rican. It's like interesting that we grew up with similar path, right? And like all these things that have happened. But how amazing is it that we could also be in each other's ecosystem as we all level up and keep growing? And
Yeah.
it's just I that's my passion actually. I wake up every day with fire about who I'm going to impact today. I'm very intentional about that. And so I wake up every day like, okay, who am I going to inspire today? As opposed to, oh, woe is me. I can't do it, blah, 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 which is what my MO used to be many years ago,
Yeah.
and sometimes she still comes up. Don't get me wrong. Sometimes I'm still like, I don't want to put out another podcast. I want to be bratty about it. But it's the most phenomenal experience meeting other people, laying your life out there, being raw and real and authentic. And if
Yeah.
people like you, they do. And if they don't, oopsies. Good, too bad for you.
Oh,
I always,
well, sounds
yeah,
like a personal problem. Yeah.
exactly. Sounds like a personal problem because I like me. So if you don't like me, that's your problem. I always say to people, listen, I might not be your cup of tea, but if you put a little vodka and stir, I might be your cup of tea.
So, so how has your faith guided you through the challenges you face, both personally and professionally?
Well, faith is my anchor, honestly. And there was times I'm not gonna like be here like, oh, I'm all that with my faith. Nope. There has been times where I have definitely put my business or my finances or money, whatever, above God. It's just true. And what I mean by that is I get up every day with money on my mind, with my business on my mind, with but and not God on my mind. And that faith that I've had and developed, especially in these last few years, even more with him, has really helped me level up my game because I've been able to show up who I really am. I realize how much he loves me, he cares for me, he watches over me, he protects me. Like I've realized this throughout the years because I've had so many like mind-blowing miraculous stories that have happened in my life that there's just no way I can deny that there's no God. That's just me, but I just can't. And so I mean if I could share a quick little story. I remember in 2002, and I wrote about this in my book. My husband was diagnosed with a tumor in his brain, and they gave him a year, maybe 18 months to live. Right. And that was in 2002. And I'll never forget it. My faith, was super strong. I wasn't going to let this man die. And I remember them saying, there's nothing we can do. Honestly, there's nothing. There's no medication. There's nothing we can do. So we're going to just give him medicine for pain and blah, blah, blah. He was a miserable SOB to live with, let me tell you, because his the mass in his brain, it was just making him very mean and he was cruel. But my faith kept me strong. And while even doing this, I was still trying to discover who I was and what business do I want to bring. Like all this stuff was happening. And I remember looking at the doctor and saying, hey, listen up. You're not God. I trust God. God did not tell me that my husband's going to die. So this is not going to happen, blah, blah, blah. He goes, oh, you're one of those. Okay. Well, we'll talk in a year to 18 months. Like, in other words, when your husband dies, we'll talk about it. Right. Well, it's 2025 and he's still here. Okay. So what happened about a year and a half after that, he was like, taking his medicine. Then his medicine was making him sick. And I said, you know why? Because you're healed. And he's like, oh, babe, and he was like, oh, going through that. So he went and got an MRI. And guess what? Tumor's gone. Tumor's gone. Right? Not because, oh, I'm all that. And no, but I just leaned in, Will. I just leaned in and said, God, if he dies, I worship you anyway. If he lives, I worship you anyway. Whatever happens, I'm worshiping you anyway. And I'm not budging from this stone. I'm not leaving one way or another. Right. And so I just left it in God's hands. I prayed about it every single day and just left it in his hands. So my faith plays a pivotal role in everything I do. If I want finances in my life, if I want abundance, if I want health, if I want my mind to not be scattered, prayer is what keeps me anchored. And that has been my passion lately, especially in these last maybe 2 years, but even more lately, because I realized I was putting him like as my side seat driver as opposed to driving the vehicle,
Yeah.
I don't want to do that anymore, Will. I'm going to just show up like me. And if you like me, great. If you don't, deuces. I need to show up, because there's a scripture that kind of scared me. It's a scripture that says, if you don't acknowledge me in front of man, then I will not acknowledge you in front of my Father. That was Jesus talking. And I was like, oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Y'all can't be sending me in other places I don't want to go. So I started anchoring myself to that and to who God is. And I just won't hide him, Will. I just won't hide it. I won't color it up for you. I won't. It's just who I am, period.
And we've spoken, and we and I'm not a religious person. But something when I saw the email was like, yo, sign up for this. So it's like something inside of me was like, you need to sign up for it. Like, because like you coach women. And so I was like, you know what, let me just sign up. And it's been one of the best things that I could have done, because now I've learned that I want to improve my relationship with God. I want to be able to speak to him more, for which I haven't been doing, but which I've been doing lately. I've been doing it every day. And so for me, it's like, it was like, okay, this email popped up in my email for a reason. Like I saw this and signed up for a reason. And like I said earlier, things just, once I started being intentional with what I wanted and putting out those words and expressing how I felt and what I wanted, and it's like, here you go.
I love that so much.
I'm like, is it that simple? But it's like, it's just like, what part of it, when I wrote the letter, I let my wife read it, and I told you about it, and she pushed me to do something like, right, you say you want to do this, here you go, there's an opportunity, step up and do it now. And I'm like, and that's what I love about her. I'm blessed to have her, is the fact that she's not afraid to push me.
Right.
She's not afraid. If I say something, she's not afraid to challenge me and be like, okay, you said you want to do this? Yeah.
You know what? So important, Will, what you're just talking about, because what you're talking about is having somebody that sees your greatness. It's having that community or that other person, right? And I know that some people are like, well, I don't have that. Well, then go hire one, like go get a mentor, go get a coach, hire Will as your coach, go get somebody. Like, the truth of the matter is we need somebody on our side. We really do. And faith is a big piece of that for me, where I have God on my side. And sometimes you just need somebody tangible. You know what I mean? Like, my husband is my biggest supporter too. So I totally get what you're saying. And it pushed you. Not only did God like go through her to push you, but then she pushed you, and that's a beautiful thing. You need that.
Absolutely. And like I said, these last few days, like just from last week to now, it's just like some amazing stuff happened. And so to see it, to work, to apply it, and start seeing some results so quickly, you're like, I could be like, damn, I should have been doing this much sooner.
Right? I know. That's what I'm saying.
I should have been talking to God much more sooner.
Oh my
And
gosh.
but
So true. So true.
I'm like amazed because now even with after that,
Mhm.
it's like me and my wife we've had our ups and downs and
Of
everything,
course.
and but we've gotten to the point where we know that communication is key between us,
Yeah.
and so being able to express this, to show her this letter and express it to her, and her able to be like, all right, let's let's do this, and so I'm just like still in awe about everything, like
Right.
just
So good.
still thinking about it, and I want people to hear the story because I'm like, I want you to know that, yo, this is no, this is not fantasy. This is something that if you really
Mhm.
truly believe in it and do it, and you can just see the wonders and the amazing things that will happen in your life.
Yeah, it's so true. After and you've also opened up some sort of a gateway too, because like, you're right. I do work with women,
Mhm.
and since the 5-day thing, I've already had like 3 or 4 men approach me to try to work with me. Like, and I'm just like, what did Will do? Like, Will must have put something in his letter to the universe, and now I got all these guys trying to get into my program. It's so funny, but I mean, I think that's just the way God works,
But
right?
that's
Like
how,
he
yeah,
just, yeah,
you needed that first subject, and that was
right,
him. And I was him, and so now guys like, oh, she see guys, okay, let me just, like she
right. Listen, and we haven't even put it out there yet that you were.
no,
This is like the first time you're talking about it, but
yeah,
it's just how it works, right? And then some other guy was like, "Oh my God, I love your content. I just saw your video on God." Da, 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 ba, bum." And then how do you coach? When do you coach? And I'm like, "Oh no, here we go, here we go." Will done did it. Will done. I
but
gotta ask him if he put something in that letter.
it is it's just like I said, it was just when I seen the email, I'm like, I'm signing up. Let me sign up.
That's
And
awesome.
I can't tell you why. I just like, okay, something inside was like, go ahead, do it. And
Hmm.
and it's been, and like I said, it's been amazing. Those 5 days were great. Just the stuff that I learned and realizing that I truly do need to improve my relationship with God.
Yeah.
It's just something that I've just felt now really that it's so much more important for me to do it,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
just to just for my own well-being. It was like, I want to do this because I need it. I know I
Yeah.
need it. I feel it within with deep inside me that he wants me to talk to him more and communicate and express myself more, and let him know just how I'm feeling and everything, and just like I said, I'm not a religious person. I'm not saying that I'm gonna be going to church every Sunday and be no, but just my relationship with him personally is something I really truly felt like needed work, and
Hmm.
I'm so glad that you came in and just started planted the seeds
Hmm.
and shown me like, hey, this is how you, this is a start for you here.
Yeah. And I think that this conversation now is planting a seed for someone else.
Hmm.
Because there's a lot of people out there, and me too, like, that need to improve our relationship with God, you
Yeah.
know? And when you start to recognize that he is for you and not against you, and that he's around you and like really, really wanting you to succeed, really wanting you not to be overwhelmed and stressed out and angry and hurt, when you start to realize that, there's a calmness that comes in, and a peace and a security that doesn't mean life is easy, but it does mean that you have someone on your side when life isn't easy, you know and so now the way you're saying what you're saying is truth and honest and raw, and who knows who's listening, who's going to be like, man, you know what, I need to improve my relationship with God. And that's all we can ask for, right? Well, I mean, that's all you can ask for, but that whatever we do on a podcast impacts somebody else's life.
And that's why I do my podcast. That's one of the reasons, is to have make an impact. And like when we talked before, it was like, it, if I impact one person's life, it's success for me,
Hmm.
because now we don't know how many people they're going to impact.
Exactly.
And like we said, it was a ripple effect. So you impact one person, they'll impact one, two people, then that person impact. So you might have started with one, but by the time you're done, you
Hmm.
probably reach hundreds or even
Hmm.
thousands.
Yeah. And the truth is you have a decision on whether you want to impact them in a good way, in a positive way, or if you want to impact them in a negative way, because you can impact both ways,
Yeah,
right? Like how many, like I think about that statement and I think about like all the generations before me who have hurt people in my family, right? My grandparents who got hurt by their parents, and my grandparents hurt my parent, and my parent hurt me, like that kind of thing.
yeah.
And so everything you do, how do you want to show up? What's the impact you want to make? And start being intentional about that. There's a lot of good things in the world. So start impacting people in a good way. Why negative when they have so much around them that could already give them the negative stuff, right? So kudos to you for talking about it, expressing it, and putting it out in the atmosphere and in the universe so people can hear. I love that.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's I can't. I'm again. I can't explain it. It was just that path is that it was just something I needed, and like I said, those 5 days were amazing. Uh, what was it? Barbara was with us the first few days,
Hmm.
and she hit me with she hit me with some stuff, and then even with the young lady that
Yeah,
we
Farah.
that
Farah.
we
Hmm.
at towards the end, where she was like, we started talking and we talked about podcasts, and she was like,
Hmm.
oh yeah, I've wanted to do a podcast, but I don't know what is it that I can talk about. And then when she mentioned that she was going through anxiety and all this stuff, and I was like, there you go.
All right. That was a really good moment for her too. She was like, "Yeah, wait, right." Like she got
Yeah,
pumped, like
yeah,
this is true. I love that. That was so good.
yeah. No,
Yeah.
we've had an amazing. Last week was an amazing week for me. So
Yeah,
I'm.
I did for me too. Yeah, it was awesome.
But so what does wisdom to wealth mean to you, and how did you develop this program?
Yeah, so I've used a lot of my wisdom in my life. So hard lessons, inner healing, belief systems, the way I talk to myself, like all that negative self-talk that we have, what I really want, how I want to get there. Like I've developed all these programs. And so what I did was I built an online academy. So in my business, I have this whole full online academy where it has all of these videos and workbooks and I mean, it just has all these sheets and stuff on there. And wisdom to wealth is using all of your God given talents, your wisdom, your skill sets, things that you've done at work, things that you do outside of work, hobbies, whatever, to develop the coaching business you want to have in the world. And it's intentional. It's very intentional. It's intense, right? So you come to me, you're like, Nina, I know I want to create a coaching business, but I don't know like how to do this. And so I actually help aspiring coaches or coaches who are growing their business to put their wisdom in a system so that they can create wealth. And so we start from concept to launch. And so once we have already got your pillars done, we got all your self-belief done, we work through things together and get everything out, and maybe I help you with your first webinar or seminar, whatever it is you want to create. And then we actually start bringing you into with my team. And then my team comes in and my team does your marketing, your automation, your funnel building, all of that. So when you're ready to launch, right? Then we put out your funnel and your system, and then start bringing clients in to the genius that you have, and that starts creating wealth in their life. And I've helped several people do this. It is super super fun. I love doing it. So what happened is as a coach, I did go and get my certifications and my master certifications and all that kind of stuff, but it left me flat. Like I didn't know what to do next. Like, okay, great. I have some coaching tools, but how do I find people to coach? and like I had to pay for another program to help me that, and then another program and I got frustrated with that. Like the coaching world can be a very lonely world. Before you know it, you're doing a lot of stuff on your own, trying to piecemeal it together, trying to figure it out. And it costs you way more money and time trying to figure this stuff out by yourself. And so I said, you know what? I'm going to build my own machine. If I don't have a machine out there that I can count on, I'm going to build my own. And so that's what I did. I built Wisdom to Wealth, which is really taking all of your wisdom from concept to launch and helping people do that effectively, as opposed to spending 20, 30 years trying to figure it out by themselves, because that's what we try to do, right? We try to YouTube University do it, like YouTube University said do this, and and we might be able to get a little bit done or a little bit of traction, but then you don't know the next piece. How do you do the nurturing sequence? How do you put everything together? Like it's a lot, and nobody tells you it's a lot. They just say, here, certify yourself with life coaching, and then you get that and you're like, what I do?
I know, I know. It's like,
yeah,
I've been I was like, for 2003, that was my goal, was to get certified as a life coach, which I did. I got that accomplished.
awesome.
Now, last year, I was supposed to start building it, but life happens, things happen. I got sidetracked. My mom got ill, all this other stuff, and was dealing with life, period. And but now this year things have started off amazing. Like
so good.
Things have started off on the right path, and it's like, okay. And like I said, the wife did something to show me, like, you're capable of doing this. Now, what's the next step for me to figure out? It's like, okay, I guess that's where you came into my life and been
right.
speaking to
so
you.
Funny. That is so good.
And being able to speak to you and you talk to you about it, and it was just like, all right, that's the next step. All right, then and a lot of things that you've talked about is stuff that, because me and you both are AppSumo heads, and we picked up a lot of tools from that website that business owners should have in their life, and
I believe that too.
And they're very beneficial, and it's because we just see things where, like, all right, this is, if were you buying this tool, like with King Sumo, you use it, and I haven't used it yet, and we spoke about it, and I asked you a question about it. You're like, yeah, you have a digital book, use it to promote that and sell it and whatever, and gift that. And I'm like, okay, we do have a digital book, we have others, and it's just being able to connect with someone that has a lot of the tools that I'm using, and being able to pick their brain, because not everyone I know uses AppSumo. A lot of people don't even know about AppSumo.
I know. I found out about it maybe like a year and a half ago, and I've been addicted. Okay, so y'all, for everybody who's listening, AppSumo's amazing, but here's what I'll tell you. You are going to get addicted, okay? So just look at the tools you need, because you're going to want every tool, but don't do it to yourself, y'all. I spent a lot of money in tools. I was talking to Will about that. I had, like, if you go to my profile, you go to, products. Listen here.
I got a bunch of products that I need to start taking advantage of, and
seriously, but it's great, and it's a fantastic tool, and they're not even sponsoring us right now. They should be sponsoring Will right now for this.
I will put my affiliate link in the description when I do release this, because I do have an affiliate link, and then if any of y'all are interested in signing up for AppSumo, please do,
and use the affiliate link, y'all, because when someone is putting out content, and somebody's doing what Will is doing right now with this podcast and stuff, right? The way you support a solopreneur that's doing her own podcasting and podcast host is by using the affiliate links that they give you. So that really helps him. It helps his algorithm. It helps the tool. So just use that affiliate link for real. And I will tell you guys can find CRMs on there, which is your customer management systems.
Yeah.
You can find website builders. You can find video editing. You
Mhm.
can find so many amazing things. And so what AppSumo does is like they get all of these starter companies.
Yes.
Like, and
Well,
don't sleep on them because Zoom was on there. Zoom
Zoom,
was on there when it started.
StreamYard was on there.
StreamYard was
A
on
lot,
there. Yep.
a lot of different
Yep.
programs that you. And an amazing thing about it is you're able to get a lifetime license. One time
Yes.
you get a fee, you pay one-time fee for a lifetime license. And what
Mm-hmm.
that means is you don't have to pay monthly. Like I have programs that I don't have to pay monthly for.
Right.
That other
Right.
people
You
are
save a
paying.
lot of
Yeah,
money. You
people
really
are.
do.
I paid one low price at the beginning,
Mm-hmm.
and they've paid for themselves.
And
So
another good thing about that too, Will, is like, for instance, I was on this amazing platform. I was so sad because they ended up folding because of like financial issues, right? But
yeah,
it was an amazing platform. Anyway, AppSumo gave me my money back. AppSumo was like, hey, they contacted us that the platform had run out of money and they're still trying to do funding. If you'd like a full refund, we would give you a full refund. I couldn't believe that. I thought that was phenomenal. I was able to get my refund back and then pick another tool that was similar. And I will tell you guys, it is probably one of the best tools, especially as a solopreneur or entrepreneur. Like if you really want to get into having your own business and streamlining processes, AppSumo is your game. And so make sure you click his link. But I will tell you something too, Will. Clip this whole thing out real quick and
yeah.
send it to
And add
AppSumo.
Sumo.
Yes, and send it to AppSumo because they also should know that you are putting out this kind of content out there that's supporting such a great platform,
Yeah.
right? And maybe they'll sponsor a show or two. So I would definitely do that.
Well, I actually knew someone at AppSumo,
Okay, great.
my buddy Chris. But yeah, I'll send it. I'll send it to him and see what
Yeah,
he
clip
thinks.
it and send it. No, really, right? You're a business guy. Let's do some business, right? Here I
Definitely.
am. Here I am coaching you again. Okay, let me shut up. Go ahead, ask your next question.
um, what role does inner healing play in building a successful business, and how do you guide your clients through that process?
That's a great question. So, inner healing, you can have a successful business, by the way, without inner healing.
Yeah,
I mean, I climbed the corporate ladder, was a six-figure plus person without all the inner healing, right? I was just a go-getter. I just do what I got to do to get things done. But what I wasn't was happy, right? And so I have a good life. I have a good husband. My kids are healthy and well. Thank God. I have grandchildren. I have all this great stuff. But I wasn't really happy, Will. Like I was hitting the six figures and like growing and expanding. And it was like blah to me, and I know life is more than just blah.
yeah,
Like most of us think that we have to, okay, so I as you know, I come for the projects. Like we have no money. My mother was on welfare, like all that kind of stuff. We have government cheese, like the whole thing. Like that's how I grew up. And so what was the goal? Six figures, climb that corporate ladder. Let's go. Let's make it happen. You know what I'm saying? So Neena did that. And then it was like nothing. It felt like nothing. I remember when I got like my first six-figure promotion, and they were like, "Oh, Neena, blah blah blah," and this is it. And I'm like, "Oh, okay, thanks." That's how I felt. And then I'm like, "Girl, did you not work at this for like 10 years to get this? And now you're like,
uh,
what?" And it's
yeah,
because the inner healing wasn't done. And so I will say to you, all who are listening, listen, you don't need the inner healing piece. You don't. But I will tell you that without the inner healing piece, you're stopping yourself from greatness. There's probably things that you really want to accomplish and grow and expand and reach. And you're not because you have not dug deep enough to get rid of all of the stuff that's stopping you. And when we are not healed, and this is a lifetime process, but at least
yeah,
start the process. Because I think about it like, I always think about it like this. I always think about it like, okay, so when people hurt me in my past, and I was severely hurt, I was molested, I was beaten, I was all those things, right? Those things hit your subconscious mind, and then you start making decisions based on those things. So you'll always say to yourself, "Oh, I want to do blank." And then halfway through it, you fizzle out and you don't do it. And you don't know why. Why do you start something and then you don't finish? Why do you feel like you're going to drive to this and then you don't want to? Right? Those are inner healing pieces that haven't been done yet. That's stopping you. So it's almost like giving a remote control to those hurts in your past or the people in your past. And those things are still driving your decisions. So even though you're away from the remote control, the remote control is still controlling your life. So think about it when you're controlling a remote control car. The car could be down the street and you're still controlling it with your big remote control.
Yeah.
When you are giving the past or the not healing or the unforgiveness or the shame or all that stuff in your life, those things have the remote control to your life. It is time to sever the cord, take out the batteries, do whatever you got to do, but it's time to cut and disconnect from those things in the past that are hurting you and are driving you to your next decision that's hurting you. Like maybe you're scared to talk in public. Why? Why is that? Who cares? You know why? Because something hurt you in the past, or you heard something, or you did something, and you formed a belief around that thing. And
Yeah.
now you're afraid to do it. Right? So
Yeah.
inner healing, yeah, you got to get that done. That has to happen for real. Yeah.
So how do you balance being candid and tough in your coaching while also creating a safe and supportive environment for your clients?
That's a really good
I
question.
can see you. I can see you. Like I know you got that Puerto Rican in you. Like so, I know you should be rough, but you also
That's so good.
you're very supportive, and you also is
Yeah.
not like you're. I can imagine how you are with your clients.
You know what? They know I love them. They know
Yeah.
I love them first, and they know that I want them to win. And it's not with me being like the shiro and the hero, in their life. I actually have a very natural servant leader mentality. I've always been this way. Even my teams that I used to lead will tell you, I always put them on the front line. Like I always make sure they are highlighted, that they are praised, that they are loved, that they are watched. And I'm from behind pushing the machine. Right. And so with these women, they're building incredible businesses. Right. I don't need them to tell everybody, oh, it's because I do this because of Neena, or I do that because that's not my jam. That's not my jam. Now, do I like maybe a review or a testimony? Of course, because it helps my business, right? Let's just say what it is. But here's what it is. I am a Puerto Rican, and my Puerto Rican does fight with my Christianity values sometimes because that Puerto Rican wants to come out and God is saying, don't do it. So the way I do it, Will, is I actually am really truthful and authentic, and I do it with love because I love them. That's just the truth, right? And so when a woman joins my program, I literally, I don't I don't ever sell on the first call, by the way. People come to me and they're like, "Oh, I'm ready to sign up." Like, "Nope, we're going to take 24 hours. We'll come back and we'll talk about it." Because I am very intentional about who I have in my ecosystem. And when somebody isn't somebody I want around me, or their energy's not good, or they're not, I don't care how much you pay me. It's not happening.
Yeah.
You know? So I think that when the women know that I'm intentional, that I'm for their wins, that I give them everything I know and then some, they're like, damn, Neena. You know what I'm saying? Like, all, because I know a lot, Will. I know a lot. And the reason I know a lot is because I'm a researcher. I am somebody who loves to dig into things, and I get all the way up in there. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's a good thing and a bad thing, because sometimes I get so far in, I have to then pull myself out, right? Like recently with let's say the political thing, right? I got all up in there. And then I started to realize it was causing me anxiety, anger, frustration, like all that kind of stuff. So I had to pull myself out. So those are the type of things. Like I think, Will, it's balance and respect for someone when you're telling them, okay, I let them talk. I let them go through it. I let them go through it. And then I just ask probing questions like, well, what does that mean? And why do you do that? And blah, blah, blah. And then they start to recognize it for themselves. I'm not beating anybody up. I'm helping them understand their value and how much they are worth and how much they are loved, but also not taking their BS. I'm not a BS type of coach. I'm a no BS type of coach. I'm going to get you to the next step. Let's go. right? But I do it with love and cheering you on. And but that is a balance though, Will, because I'm not everybody. I mean it when I say I'm not everybody's cup of tea. There has been people who say, Nina, this is too much for me. You know, I can't do it. I'm like, okay, if I am too much for you, no problem. Then I am too much for you. But then you have to ask yourself, what is enough?
Yeah.
Right? So, yeah, I just do it with balance and love. I think when you come out with people with authenticity and love, they understand it and they know it. Yeah.
And this and this you're very heavily into your faith. So how do you integrate faith and spirituality into your coaching without like alienating those who may not share the same beliefs? Like
Yeah.
we don't we not I said before, I'm not a religious person. I wasn't going to church and all this, and
Yeah.
like you know your Bible verses. I'm not one, but yeah, we still connected,
Yeah.
and you didn't come like you need to read the Bible and you need to.
Right.
That's not how you did it.
No,
You
no.
you kind of like, okay, you shared stuff with me, and you shared the verse that I was like that connected with me, and I was
Right.
like, oh man, like I like that I
Right.
understand that is me right there. That verse right there with that quote you put. So how is it that you do it?
Well, first of all, everybody knows I'm a Christian, right? So that's the first thing is if you have to come with people knowing who you really are. Right?
Yeah,
Like I don't fake it. I'm not like out here trying to tell you I'm not that person. I am that person, right? I am. And so when you come into my ecosystem, you already know that about me, but I do it with a lot of respect. And I always tell everyone, okay, this is what I want to talk about. And are you guys okay? I'm going to start praying about this. Are you guys okay if we pray over your business real quick? Are you guys okay? Blah, 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 blah. And they always are like, yes. And I've had people, even when I was in directorship, I've had people who were atheists. Okay. But I prayed over every event. And I would always respectfully say, if you are uncomfortable with prayer, please, just step out of the kitchen, step out of the area, and I'm going to pray. And then you can come back. And they would be like, nah, I'll stay. You know, and then by this particular guy, I'll never forget. He was complete atheist, completely anti-God. No, don't even talk to me about it. Right. But stayed for every prayer, Will. And he worked with me for like maybe 2 or 3 years. And then in the 3rd year, he was quitting, right? And so I was leaving to go build his own empire, his own business, which actually he did build. It was amazing. So he said to me, Nina, can I be honest with you? I said, sure. He said, he goes, this is going to sound funny coming from me. I said, okay. He said, but you know how you always prayed over us? I'm like, yeah. He goes, I actually think that's what helped me build my empire. I said, really? I said, but you're an atheist. He goes, yeah, but I really think it's because you got that connection thing going on. Like that's how he said it. He said, I really believe it's because of that I have the business that I have right now that I'm going to. And he just started crying. I was shocked, right? Because I respected him, Will. I
yeah,
respected him. I asked him, you can literally step out if you'd like to. I am not going to force this on anyone. So I do the same in my coaching program. The women already know I'm a person of faith, so they don't come in shocked, you know. And I don't I'm not like Bible beating people in my program either. We're talking about real things, strategy, funnel building, how to identify gaps, how to get from A to B, what's your business process. Like I'm very strategic as well. It's not just all faith and spirituality. So but yeah, that's how they know. I balance it by being truthful and honest and not beating anybody over the head. Your walk is your walk, my walk is my walk. So let's respect each other and keep it moving because all of us are here to win. That's what we're here for.
yeah.
Yeah.
So how do you help your clients move from a mind of scarcity and one of abundance?
That's a good question. So it depends on how it comes up, right?
Yeah,
Because for everybody, it comes up differently.
yeah,
Yeah, it comes up differently. So we start to actually ask ourselves what is true and what's a lie, because a lot of things are a lie. There's just lies, right? So there's also another exercise if anybody ever wants to do it. Like you say to yourself, I want to build this business, but then part of you goes, I don't know if I can do it, right? So there's a part of you that wants it and a part of you that's fearful, right? And so we call it integration, right? So what we do is we take a piece of paper, you draw a line in the middle of the paper. On one side, you draw what it is that you really want. And on the other side, you draw what it is that you're afraid of. Like what's stopping you, right? And so you'll say, well, what does this ambition want? Why do I want this so bad? Oh, I want to be free. I want to have income. I want to have abundance. I want to be safe. All the things that you think you want for whatever it is you're going after. Well, then why do I have this fear, or why is this fear holding me back? Well, it's trying to keep you safe. It's trying to keep you here. It's trying to, you're like, so you, when you start to deal with those type of things, you start to realize that what you want and what you're afraid of is actually wanting the same thing. It's actually wanting you to have peace, abundance, safety, all of those things. And so once you start to integrate those two parts of you, the part that's afraid to go for it and the part that is wanting to go for it, then you realize when fear comes up, you go, oh, okay, it's because I want this so badly. Great. What's my first step? Because now you integrated both pieces that have been fighting against each other. So that's just one exercise of many that I do. And that's just a little gist, because we actually go through a whole thing about it. But that's how you do it. You do it one step at a time, one person at a time, one moment at a time. And abundance means different things to different people. Some people think abundance means financial wealth. Some people, abundance means having joy. So people have so many different identifications of what that means. And what I try to find out is, what is it that you're really, really trying to go after? And then we work on that. So yeah, that's how I do it.
Awesome. Excuse me. Um, how, what are some of the most common fear or challenges your clients might have, and how do you help them overcome it?
So there's a couple of fear and challenges. And one of the fears is the worth part. They don't feel like they're
Worth.
worth. Yeah, they don't feel like they have that worth, like they're not good enough or smart enough or capable enough or whatever the enough thing is, which is a lie from the pit of hell. That's just a lie. The truth is you are worthy. You have worth. You have value. You have skill sets and knowledge and gifts. You have all of those things. It's an absolute lie when you tell yourself you don't have anything to offer. Not true. Not true at all. At all. And so that's one of the really big things that I see that comes through my doors. Another thing is this idea that if they start their business, they'll be rich in 3 days. Like, what? No company has ever just started and rich in 3 days unless they're money laundering. You know what I mean? Like, let's stop that nonsense, right? I mean, was it Jeff Bezos from Amazon started in a garage? You know what I'm saying? Like, iPad or iPhones or Apple started in a garage with like two
Yep.
guys. Like, the truth of the matter is you need to start, period. Just start. And then tomorrow you take one step. The
Yeah.
next day you take 2 steps. The next day you take another step. And before you know it, you're so far from the beginning because you've taken a step every day that now you're successful. So those are the things that I see that are really impacting a lot of people who are aspiring to be entrepreneurs or want to be, is their worth. They don't think they have anything of value that they could bring to the world, which is a total lie. And the second thing is the fallacy of thinking that business is easy and that you'll be rich in 3 days. That's just not how it works. And I want to always demystify that, Will, because a lot of people think that if they build it, they will come. And that's not true. You have to build it, be consistent, and then you have to tell people about it, right? And just like really be out there giving value to people in the world, and then they will come.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
It's not. It's not.
Mm-hmm.
How do you ensure that your clients continue to thrive both personally and professionally after working with you?
Yeah. So they're with me for a year, Will. So we have all these contingencies and plans already placed in place for them. But what they have to me is lifetime access. So if they leave off, we built their business, everything's ready, blah, 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 they're off they go. I still get emails from somebody who worked with me 2 years ago who will say, hey, Neen, I just hit a new plateau or a new thing I just hit on the wall. Can you strategize with me? And that just might be a one-off conversation. I don't charge for that. Right now, if you want to come back into the program because you're building something new and you want to go through it, okay, great. We'll re-up you. And I've had women who has definitely there's a couple of my clients who have re-upped with me like 3 times because they want to stay with me. Right. But I never leave them well because I'm not going to leave anybody alone out there. I'm just not. So I've had people, yeah. So a lot of my clients come back to me and say, "Hey, I have this in my funnel, but I don't know how to deal with it. Can you help me?" I also have a VA service in my company now, so they'll come and say, like, I have a meeting in a week because one of my clients is like, "I need VAs." I'm like, "I got your VAs. Come on, let's go." So I have a lot of systems and a lot of things coming out and people know that. And so people who are in my ecosystem know who I am and what I do. And so that's how I keep them. That's how I keep them motivated and going and moving forward. We don't leave each other. We become friends.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, what's one piece of advice you wish someone had given you when you were just starting out?
Man, you know what? Be consistent and stick to it. Because I'm telling you that I think that's the biggest misconception, Will, because when I was starting, nobody told me it was going to be hard, that I had to build systems, that I had to have all of this stuff. And nobody told me that. And
No.
so I was like out here trying to figure this out by myself. You know what I'm saying? And so I wish somebody would have told me, hey, listen, have a coach by your side because it's important. Invest in yourself, have a coach by your side, and then work, make sure that you get somebody who knows what they're doing so that you can start working a system for you. I wish somebody would have told me that. I spent so much money on coaching and certifications and all, at least $200,000 and just like trying to build something, and it's like, then I figured out I have all the wisdom, the talent, the skill sets, the know-how. I have everything I already have in me. I just was so afraid of doing anything. And so don't be afraid. Go find somebody who knows what they're doing. Invest in yourself and get yourself moving forward. That's the best thing I can tell you to do.
Awesome. What legacy do you hope to leave behind through your work and impact on others?
Oh, I think the biggest legacy for me is to leave a business or an impact in people's lives where their life improved. I don't I'm not God and I don't plan to be God or choose to be God, but I do plan to be someone who impacts your life in a positive way, even if it's just one thing. And so when I die, I want to be able to, if God allows me, to see the room that my body is in and seeing how many people's lives I touched. And I am so blessed because I have had so many beautiful opportunities to touch people's lives, even a little bit. And I have people that still to this day that I don't even really speak to, but they go, I always remember our conversation about X. I always remember when we talked about this. Do you know that you said this to me, Nina, and it changed my whole life? And that is what I want. That's the legacy. I want my family and friends and coworkers and business partners and whatever to just say, damn, she was a good one.
Yeah, that's a great legacy to leave behind. Time has flown by.
Oh my God. It
Yeah,
really has. Holy shit.
we've come to the part of the show where, and I definitely got to have you back on because we're not done. This is just this. We're definitely not done. But it's come to the part of the show where you get the solo screen and you get to plug away, let them know website, where to get the book, everything.
All right. Hi. Oh, solo screen for real, for real. Okay. So, y'all, listen, I'm Neena Perez, NEENAPEREZ. You want to reach me? Google me. I am everywhere. But you can go to neenaperez.com. You can go to Straight Talk No Sugar Addict, which is my podcast. And my book is called Hit Me With Your Best Shot, How I Overcame a Hard-Hitting Life. Now, if you are somebody, or especially a woman who is trying to create a coaching business, but you don't know what to do or where to go or how to start or whatever, I'm your girl for that. And I give you 100% free strategy call. I don't sell you on that call. It is just to connect with you. So if you want to really like grow and launch and get something out there in the world, I'm your girl. Hit me up. So Neena Perez. There you go.
Awesome. Well, but don't leave yet.
Okay.
Let me close out the show, and then we
Okay.
chat a little bit else off the air. But
Okay.
this was wonderful. I had a great time. Thank you
Me
for
too.
stopping by and sharing your stories and sharing everything that you're doing. I am very appreciative of the friendship we're building.
Mhm.
Because this won't be the last time we connect. You're stuck with me now. So
Yeah, good, good. That's what I want. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me on your show, Will. This is an honor. I appreciate it.
I appreciate you. I appreciate you. It was, listen, things happen for a reason. And I'm just blessed to have you in my life and connect with you and be able to have you come on my show now. Because like I said, I've been on your show. So to have you come on and be a part of my show and bless my show with your awesome energy and just everything that you're doing. I'm happy. I'm glad we got this done. And that's, like I said, this won't be the last time y'all see her here. She's gonna be back. Definitely gonna be back.
Good. Would
We
love
might
that.
collaborate on some things. Don't worry, because she's amazing, and I really do want to work with her and do some great things because I think together we can do some amazing stuff. Because
Heck yeah. Heck yeah. Thank you for having me.
oh, pleasure's mine. But again, don't leave yet. All right.
Okay.
Okay. All right, everybody. Another great episode is in the books. This was great. I didn't. Time is like it's flown by, man. I've had a great time talking to Neena and having her answer the questions and share her story and go out and get her book. She has a fascinating story. She's been through some stuff and it would definitely be something that would impact your life. She's amazing. But shout out to my Real Wise fam, Poppy J, Brandy J, love you guys. Uh, Big shout out to the boss lady for everything you do. I really truly do appreciate the way you push me, the way you inspire me. It's I'm just blessed to have you. And shout out to Neena Perez for coming through and doing her thing. It was a great episode. I'm so excited. I can't wait to release it. And if you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe, hit the notification bell, share it with your friends. Stuck in My Mind podcast. Like, we're on all major platforms. And as always, a big shout out to all the essential workers out there. God bless y'all. Be safe. You know your boy Wise does it. Peace out.